I want to do a video talking about the QSZ92 or the CF98 pistol. It's the current service pistol of the Chinese Army, and I've got an older version and a newer version that are for the civilian market, and I'll just explain about the pistol, and then I'll explain some of the differences in the ones that are available to the civilian market, at least in Canada. To start off with, the gun is a rotating barrel gun, is what it uses for a locking system. It's originally an 18-shot magazine in 9mm, standard NATO 9mm. The gun uses a chassis system which I'm pretty sure it predates the SIG or any other chassis system gun. That I can't find any others that predate this, because this would be about developed, I believe, in starting in '92. And this is what the gun looks like disassembled, with the locking block and the barrel, and then the chassis completely removed from the polymer frame. And it's a double action, single action pistol. One other thing is the Chinese also make a specialist version of this pistol. It's in 5.8mm. It's a little bit different looking than the QBZ92 or QSZ92. I believe this was to compete with the FN57, because at the time I think everybody was looking at ways of defeating body armor with small caliber rounds, and it was a thing back then in the mid-90s. So they had these specialist versions of the QSZ92, and they show some comparisons here of the bullet wound tracks and some of the differences, but I can't really read too much because it's completely in Chinese. They also have specialist versions that are, they use a different kind of locking block, and look like they're suppressor only guns. And I've never seen these pistols, I've never seen any pistols chambered in 5.8 on the civilian market. So they seem to be specialized, or they might have just gotten rid of the project altogether and just stuck with the 9mm guns. So now I want to talk about the civilian market, the current version and the older version of the pistol. To start off with, the cases they came in were the same. The only difference is there's an extra little slot on the newer one because of the magazine has this pad on the bottom, and it didn't come with the little extra parts that the older one, I don't know if mine maybe was just missing them or something, but the hole is there, but they were not there. And then the cleaning rod is the same. It's not in the older box because I use it, so I don't have it in the box anymore. But they come with this tool. It's a disassembly tool and a cleaning rod, and that's the same. The pistols themselves, the difference, starting with the magazine, is the magazines are completely different. They're both 10 shots for the Canadian market, and the old one is serialized to the gun, and it has like a 1, and then the one in the gun has a 2 on it. They're 10 shots, and they're completely different than the new one. The new one doesn't say anything on it, and it looks like a Beretta type or a Browning high power type, and it's completely changed, but they're the same. Like they do the same thing. The pistols, the new one has this rail on the front. The old one doesn't, and that makes it more, the rail makes it more true to the military type, because there's a proprietary Chinese rail that fits on there, and you can put flashlights and all that stuff on them. And I'll just show the difference in the markings. This is the current one, and the old one looks like that. The 13 that's after the serial number, I assume, is the data manufacturer. The new one, it doesn't really have anything on it. Oh, the magazines also, the new ones have a big fat base plate on them, which I don't know why they put it on there. Doesn't, I guess so you can grab it and rip it out, but you don't really need to on this gun. It has a very thin grip, and they don't ever seem to get stuck in it. The other big difference in this gun than the old one is this one has night sights on it. There's a little tiny little insert in there. It's barely usable, but they are night sights. If you put a flashlight on them and put it in the dark, they will glow. So the old one has these, they are white dots. I put glow in the dark paint on them, but they were white before, and they didn't illuminate or anything. Other than that, there doesn't seem to be any difference in the pistols. The way the machining is done, everything looks to be the same, just in those couple little differences on them. And the guns are very good guns. They're well made. They seem cheap, but when you shoot them, you'll see that they're well made. And I've only ever had one malfunction, and it's with this specific ammo. And I believe it's because they have this really sharp crown on them, and the tip of the crown got stuck on the breech face of the barrel and prevented it from going in. That was the only malfunction I ever had. Just one time it did that. And I believe it's just how the bullet is cut really sharp on the edge. Other than that, the guns have been reliable. The magazines are good. They load up to their proper amount. They're easy to load. The triggers are nice on them. It has a safety on the back that's a little hard to work, but it's also a decocker. And the decocker does work. So they're excellent pistols, and I just thought I would go over some of the differences. If you're interested in buying a new one, or if you go to the used market, you can decide which is the better one to get, but they seem to both be fine. Just the newer one is updated to more of the military style of gun. So that's about it. So thank you for watching.